I'm back. The Final Percent podcast is back. To be honest with you, we took a little hiatus. We were going to try the Homeless Millionaire brand. To be honest with you, millionaire is overused in this market, and homeless is too controversial of a word. So I've actually killed that brand. It brand is no longer around, but at least we tried something. The whole idea behind that brand was when you are homeless, you have to have that $1 million dream to stretch you, to make you something more than you are right now. And then if you achieve $1 million, then you need to return to thinking homeless so that you can stay hungry and stay frugal. It was not as well received as I liked, as I would have liked, but whatever. At least we're trying something. So I have actually been studying a lot. We are going to go with the Final Percent brand. That is going to be the thing that is going to tie all of our different brands of coaching and training and motivation together. And today we are going to talk about the first concept that I want to help people understand, that I think is very important, that is kind of misunderstood. And that is activity versus accomplishment. These are two different things. And the way that I want to illustrate it is, if you think about it, if we're going to watch an NFL football game, if we think about that, it takes, 3 hours to watch this NFL game? Now, studies have shown that it's between, for the time that the ball is actually moving, being thrown, being run, doing this, that, and the other, is between 7 minutes and 11 minutes. That's how much that's how much accomplishment that we are watching for 3 hours of activity. 3 hours of activity, and we get to watch 7 and 11 minutes of accomplishment. A lot of people live their lives the same way. They live their lives going to work saying, man, I showed up. I go to work every day. I work hard for my money. I do this. I do that. But do you? Because you don't get paid for the time spent. You get paid for the value that you put in the time. So if you're there for 3 hours, are you giving 7 or 11 minutes of accomplishment? And you've got to ask yourself, if you're sitting here saying, man, I put in 16-hour days. Okay, if you put in 16-hour days, you should have a lot to show for it. 16 hours a day is a ton of time. And like we've said in many other podcasts, you have your bank account. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You can spend every penny every single day, and you always have an opportunity to make more money. But you were born with the bank account of time that does nothing but go down. And you could be the world's first trillionaire. You can't buy 1 second of your life back. So that's why I've always said, if you're going to make a lot of money, money should be a byproduct of you being badass. Money should be a byproduct of you being badass. And we were doing an exercise with one of my mastermind groups, and one of these people said, man, I really want a Grammy. And I said, okay, cool, that's great. Who do you have to become to get a Grammy? Because he just said, I want a Grammy. Well, what does that mean? Who do you have to become to where the byproduct is you receive a Grammy? Well, you've got to become a great engineer. You've got to work with the right people. You've got to bust your butt, and you really have to persevere. So therefore, the goal should be, I want to work with great people. I want to learn more. I want to take my craft to the next level. I want to work with everyone that I can, that I find value in. So this activity versus accomplishment thing is very important. One of the another tool that I use for people is say, okay, let's write down some goals, okay? Write down your 6-month goal, your 1-year goal, your 3-year goal, and your 5-year goal. And everyone puts down stuff like, I want to have a Grammy. I want to have $100,000 in the bank. I want to be debt-free. I want to this. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to realize that in the top of that goal list, that the top of that sheet, you should write effect. Effect. Now, what word always goes with effect? What word do we always? It's an effect and effect. Cause and effect. So a great exercise that I use is you write down 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, effect. These are all the things that you want. Okay, now write the same thing down. 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 year, but now write cause. Okay, cool. If this is your goal over here, write down, what is it going to take? What do I have to do to cause this effect to happen? It's very important. But people are not understanding that activity and accomplishment are two different things. Now, activity could be what? The cause. This is effect. So a lot of people say, I want to get a high-paying job, which is great. I want to get paid $100 an hour. Okay, cool. That's great. But when they get there, they want to sit around and do nothing, but still get $100 an hour. They are not trying to put that value in that hour. And also, if you get paid for what you do and only what you do, where do you think you're actually going to be in 3 years? The same place. I love this. This one, I do know where it came from. It's from Zig Ziglar, and he said, if you get paid more, if you do more than what you're paid to do, it is inevitable that you will get paid more for what you do. I thought that was great. The whole idea of that's not my job. And I've been guilty of it. Everyone's been guilty of it. I've been trying to really understand the value of putting as much value in my time. And that's the big thing. Do not mistake activity for accomplishment. A lot of people will just spend the time, but they don't accomplish anything. They're so busy being busy, they aren't busy doing anything. They just want to look busy. They want to feel like they're active, which is great, but have a purpose. That's why in the morning, I just started waking up at 5 a.m. I've been doing it for about a month now, and I'm going to be honest with you, it changed my life. I mean, I'm sitting here at 9:20. I got here at 7:30, had breakfast with my wife at 6 a.m., and I'm up and awake and ready for the day. I'm ready to conquer the day. I'm excited for the day, and I have all of my thoughts already done. I have all of my goals already done. I know what I want to accomplish on this day. It's very, very cool. I want to have a plan so that I can attack my day better. And I think that if more people started saying, okay, do I live on football time? For every 3 hours of me being awake, am I getting 7 minutes of accomplishment? Well, if that's the case, write down some specific goals. And one thing that I've noticed, if you give yourself an amount of time to do something, usually it will take that amount of time. Have you ever noticed that? All right, I'm going to get this done today. Well, it's probably going to take all day. But if you would have written down, I'm going to get this done in 90 minutes, you probably could have gotten it done in 90 minutes. It's just, what is your priority? Is your priority snacking? Is your priority eating food? Is your priority the new TV show? Again, I want to learn guitar. It's something that has kind of been a reoccurring thing in my podcast, but I have not made it a priority. I don't spend an hour a day on it, 2 hours a day on it, 3 hours a day on it. If you're going to be a great musician, you have to spend time. You have to be disciplined. But there's a lot of things, as I'm studying musician practice, there's this thing called deliberate practice. A lot of people will just noodle around for 3 hours. They'll just kind of do some of their songs. They'll strum things they already know, but it's not deliberate practice. They're not learning anything new. They are not accomplishing anything. They're being active. So again, there's a huge difference between activity and accomplishment. And the problem is we don't want to hold ourselves accountable to truly accomplish something. And that's why a rule for me and anybody that I can get to listen to me has been awake with a purpose and do not go to sleep until you truly feel accomplished. You don't lay your head down on that pillow until you feel accomplished. So again, guys, this whole concept that I'm trying to talk about today is understand that you do not get paid for your activity and the time you spend. You get paid for the value, i.e., the accomplishments that you put in your time spent. There's a big difference. You're spending the same amount of time, but are you just active or are you accomplishing stuff? So we're back. We're going to do the Final Percent podcast. We're having fun. I'm going to be hopefully videoing every single one of these. I'm very excited about that so that you can see I'm not going to say my beautiful face, but you can see my face if you're on YouTube or whatnot. But I'm very excited to start sharing some of the ideas. I've read a lot of books since I last did a podcast, and I'm excited to share some of the nuggets of knowledge that I have either developed, I've seen, or I've actually used, and it made a huge impact in my life, or just some of the things that I read out of these books. And when I had the opportunity, I wrote those down. So I'd love to say, hey, this is what it is. This is where I got it. And you can go read the full book. Thanks for listening. We're back. This is going to have some fun. Or this is going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun. Thanks for listening.